Look around at the modern world for 5 minutes and you will notice a terrifying reality. Our society is becoming dumber, softer, and more distracted by the day. We are surrounded by endless, cheap stimulation, outrage algorithms, and short-form entertainment designed to reduce human attention spans to that of a goldfish. People no longer read deep books, think critically, or question what they are fed. They simply consume, react, and obey. Friedrich Nietzsche foresaw this exact cultural decay when he warned about the rise of the last man, a creature who seeks only comfort, entertainment, and safety, while losing all passion for greatness, wisdom, and truth. We have built a world where real intelligence is ridiculed and mindless conformity is rewarded. By the end of this video, you will understand the exact structural forces that turned our society into a brainless, easily manipulated crowd, why traditional education is failing to create smart human beings, and the practical cultural revolution required to rebuild human intelligence, reduce crime, and restore real power to the modern mind. To understand how to make society smart again, you first have to realize that our collective stupidity is not an accident. It is the natural result of an environment engineered to exploit human weakness. The modern brain is bombarded with thousands of artificial dopamine triggers every single day. From notification pings to infinite scroll feeds, your mind is constantly being pulled away from deep, sustained focus. When a population loses the ability to focus for more than 10 seconds at a time, it loses the ability to think critically. Critical thinking requires patience, quiet reflection, and the capacity to weigh complex ideas. When you replace deep thinking with quick, emotional reactions, you create a public that is effortlessly manipulated by outrage, propaganda, and cheap entertainment. People become incapable of solving their own problems because they can no longer sit quietly in a room and think through a challenge to its logical conclusion. The decay of society always begins with the decay of the individual mind. When individuals stop demanding rigor from themselves, the culture around them collapses into mediocrity. You see this everywhere today. Standard language is shrinking, attention spans are disintegrating, and basic logic is treated like a hostile attack. People have traded the uncomfortable pursuit of truth for the warm, cozy comfort of mindless entertainment. Carl Jung highlighted this exact danger when he observed that the largest threat to humanity does not come from physical disasters or wild animals, but from the psychological epidemics of a confused, unthinking mass. When the individual surrenders his personal judgment to the collective herd, he ceases to be a rational human being and becomes a mere cell in a blind, reactive organism. To reverse this decline, we cannot wait for governments or institutions to save us. The reclamation of intelligence must begin as an aggressive, uncompromising, personal choice made by individuals who refuse to let their minds rot in the crowd. The first step toward building a smarter society is changing how we view the purpose of knowledge. For decades, our education systems have confused memorization with intelligence. Children are sent to school not to learn how to think, but to learn what to obey. They are trained to memorize facts long enough to pass standardized tests, fit quietly into corporate cubicles, and never question the underlying assumptions of the world around them. This is not education, it is industrial conditioning. Real intelligence is not about accumulating trivia or holding a fancy degree. It is the capacity to observe reality clearly, analyze cause and effect, adapt to changing circumstances, and solve real-world problems. When you teach people to merely follow instructions instead of questioning premises, you produce a society full of certified credentials, but empty of actual wisdom. To make people truly smart again, we must return to a model of education centered on critical inquiry, philosophical foundation, and practical mastery. Instead of forcing young minds to memorize abstract, useless facts that they will forget in a week, we need to teach them the fundamentals of logic, emotional self-regulation, and long-term strategy. Imagine a society where every child is taught how to spot logical fallacies, how to manage their own nervous system, and how to build tangible things with their hands. When a person learns how to construct a house, program software, or analyze a historical event with cold objectivity, their self-reliance explodes. A self-reliant mind cannot be easily fooled by cheap slogans or emotional manipulation. They become immune to the mental diseases that infect the passive consumer class. If this video brings value to your life, hit the subscribe button and join the journey. I appreciate your support. This transformation in education is also the most potent, long-term weapon we have against crime and social decay. Most people look at crime purely as a police problem or a legal issue. But at its core, crime is a failure of human development. A person who turns to violent crime, theft, or destructive behavior is almost always a person whose mind was never equipped with the tools to navigate life constructively. When a young man grows up without discipline, without critical thinking skills, and without a clear pathway to create value for his community, his energy rots. In that state of intellectual and emotional poverty, short-term impulsive gains look far more attractive than long-term honest effort. Crime thrives in the dark corners of ignorance, powerlessness, and hopelessness. When you genuinely educate a human being, not just training them for a job, but sharpening their reason and building their character, you eliminate the root drivers of criminality. An educated man who knows how to think, build, and solve problems sees a future for himself. He realizes that short-term illegal gains are a terrible trade that destroys his long-term freedom and dignity. He learns to defer gratification, control his immediate impulses, and respect the rights of others out of a deep understanding of human cause and effect. Marcus Aurelius spoke directly to this fundamental truth when he wrote, "Mankind are made for the sake of one another. Teach them then, or bear with them." If a society refuses to teach its people how to live rationally and build value, it has no right to be surprised when those same people turn around and tear the society down out of frustration and ignorance. Reducing crime is not simply about building more prisons or increasing police budgets. It is about building human beings who are too proud, too capable, and too wise to resort to low-level criminality. When a man gains mastery over a real skill, his self-respect rises dramatically. A man with genuine self-respect does not spend his time breaking into cars, joining gangs, or ruining his neighborhood. He is too busy building his life, protecting his family, and contributing to his craft. By shifting our focus from passive containment to aggressive intellectual and moral elevation, we turn potential liabilities into powerful assets for the entire community. Intelligence and discipline are the ultimate crime deterrents because they attack the impulse toward destruction before it ever takes root in the human heart. However, we cannot talk about making society smart again without addressing the poison of modern media and information consumption. The average person today ingests a toxic diet of hyper-sensationalized news, superficial social media drama, and endless outrage bait. Just as a physical diet of pure sugar and junk food destroys the human body, an information diet of cheap, artificial, mental junk destroys the human mind. Most people are walking around with severely inflamed, chronically fatigued brains without even realizing it. They are in a constant state of low-grade fight or flight, reactively swinging between anxiety and anger, based on whatever narrative is trending on their screens. If you want to reclaim your intellect and help elevate those around you, you must implement a strict regime of mental hygiene. You have to starve the useless distractions to feed the meaningful pursuits. Turn off the continuous news cycle that profits from your panic. Delete the apps that turn your attention into a commodity. Replace short-form, mindless scrolling with dense, challenging books that force your brain to work, visualize, and analyze. Read history, read philosophy, read technical manuals, read literature that survives centuries precisely because it speaks to universal human truths. When you feed your mind high-grade intellectual fuel, your thoughts clarify, your language sharpens, and your tolerance for superficial nonsense vanishes entirely. This shift requires you to step out of the herd mentality and accept the discomfort of being an independent thinker. The unthinking crowd always demands conformity. They want you to agree with their slogans, echo their outrage, and share their surface-level opinions. The moment you pause, ask for evidence, and refuse to blindly nod along, the crowd will feel threatened by you. They will call you arrogant, strange, or dangerous. This is where you must draw on internal strength. Nietzsche famously declared, "The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. If you try it, you will be lonely often and sometimes frightened, but no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself." Owning your own mind is the highest privilege a human being can achieve, but it requires the courage to stand alone in a room full of shouting people and calmly hold on to what is true. Rebuilding a smart society also requires us to restore the value of productive struggle. Modern culture has fallen in love with the idea that everything should be easy, fast, and comfortable. We want instant answers, instant entertainment, and instant gratification. But real intelligence is forged through friction. Your brain grows stronger when you wrestle with a mathematical problem you do not immediately understand, when you spend weeks mastering a difficult instrument, or when you labor to articulate a complex thought clearly. When you eliminate all friction, challenge, and struggle from human life. You do not create a peaceful society. You create a weak, fragile, and incompetent population that collapses at the first sight of real adversity. We must cultivate a culture that honors hard work, deep focus, and intellectual mastery over easy comfort. We need to stop praising people merely for having opinions and start respecting those who demonstrate tangible competence and deep knowledge. An opinion costs nothing. Anyone with an internet connection can shout an opinion into the void. Competence, on the other hand, costs years of silent labor, discipline, and willingness to look foolish while learning. When a culture begins to value actual skill over loud opinions, the entire standard of public discourse rises. People stop arguing about shallow talking points and start focusing on what actually works in the physical world. This brings us to the crucial psychological concept of shadow integration in the quest for a smarter society. Carl Jung emphasized that true wholeness and intelligence cannot exist if we remain blind to the dark, irrational parts of our own nature. A brainless society is one that pretends to be purely good while remaining completely unaware of its own capacity for malice, hypocrisy, and destruction. When people ignore their own internal shadow, they project all their flaws onto outside groups, political enemies, or foreign nations. They say, "We are entirely good, and they are entirely evil." This childish black and white view of the world is the hallmark of an uneducated, unreflective mind. It leads straight to mob violence, witch hunts, and ideological tyranny. A truly smart society is composed of individuals who have examined their own hearts and recognized their own capacity for dark, destructive behavior. When you realize that you are capable of the same ignorance, cruelty, and weakness that you see in others, you drop your self-righteous posturing. You become far more cautious with your judgments, far more rigorous with your self-examination, and far less likely to be swept up into mob hysteria. You realize that the real battle line between good and evil does not run between different political parties or social classes. It runs straight down the middle of every single human heart. A population made up of self-aware, shadow-integrated individuals is practically impossible to push into mindless, collective madness. To make this vision a reality, we must also address the breakdown of human dialogue. Look at how people communicate today. They talk past each other, weaponize labels, and treat every disagreement as a fight to the death. People no longer listen to understand. They listen to find a weakness they can attack. This breakdown in basic communication is a direct symptom of intellectual decay. A smart person approaches a disagreement with curiosity, realizing that even an opponent might hold a piece of reality that they themselves have missed. An ignorant person approaches a disagreement with total certainty, believing they already possess the complete truth and that anyone who disagrees is either foolish or evil. We must revive the lost art of honest, calm, and rigorous debate. We need to teach people how to steelman their opponent's arguments, meaning you articulate the other person's position so clearly and fairly that they say, "Yes, that is exactly what I believe." Only when you can accurately state the opposing view do you earn the right to criticize it. If our schools, workplaces, and public forums cultivated this level of intellectual honesty, the toxic polarization paralyzing our society would evaporate overnight. People would stop viewing disagreement as a threat and start viewing it as an opportunity to sharpen their own understanding of reality. Furthermore, We must reconnect human intelligence with the physical world. One of the greatest mistakes of the modern era was separating the mind from the body. We built a world where millions of people spend 8 hours a day staring at spreadsheet boxes, writing abstract emails, and engaging in work that has zero connection to the physical earth. This complete detachment from physical reality breeds a strange, fragile kind of neurosis. When your entire life exists inside abstract screens, you lose your grounding. You forget how the world actually works, how materials behave, and how much physical effort is required to sustain human civilization. A truly intelligent man understands that the mind and body are a single, unified system. Physical training, manual labor, and direct interaction with nature are not distractions from intellectual life. They are its bedrock. When you lift heavy weights, cultivate a garden, build furniture, or hike through rugged terrain, you force your brain to interact with unforgiving physical laws. Gravity does not care about your feelings, and a piece of wood does not care about your political opinions. The physical world demands truth, precision, and effort. Reintegrating physical reality into our daily lives restores a sense of proportion, humility, and mental toughness that no abstract textbook can ever provide. As we pursue this personal and cultural transformation, we must guard against the temptation of cynicism. It is ridiculously easy to look at the state of the world, see the overwhelming stupidity, and throw your hands up in despair. It is easy to sit back, complain about how shallow everyone has become, and retreat into bitter isolation. But cynicism is just another form of intellectual laziness. It is a protective shell people wear so they don't have to take responsibility for making things better. A cynical man uses the world's flaws as an excuse to do nothing, while a wise man uses those same flaws as a call to action. You do not need to fix the entire planet tomorrow to make a profound difference. The key to elevating society is local, individual, and relentless execution. You elevate society by elevating yourself first, then elevating your family, your workplace, and your immediate community. When you become a person who reads deeply, speaks precisely, acts honorably, and handles responsibility without flinching, you create an undeniable gravitational pull around you. People notice when a man is grounded, calm, and highly capable in a world full of frantic, incompetent noise. They will naturally come to you for advice, leadership, and direction. Be the anchor of sanity in your immediate environment. When others are spreading frantic rumors, be the voice of calm logic. When others are chasing short-term outrage, focus on long-term solutions. When others are lazy and distracted, demonstrate quiet, relentless discipline. By raising your own standards, you set a new baseline for everyone who interacts with you. You show your children what real curiosity looks like. You show your friends what unshakable integrity looks like. You show your community that it is possible to live as a free, intelligent human being rather than a passive consumer of cheap culture. This is how cultures are actually rebuilt, not through top-down government mandates or grand political speeches, but through an organic, ground-level revolution of individual character and intellect. 1,000 smart, disciplined, self-reliant men operating in their respective communities will do more to reduce crime, improve education, and elevate human culture than any bureaucratic program ever could. It is a slow, quiet, and demanding path, but it is the only path that yields permanent results. Look at your life today with cold, uncompromising honesty. Look at how you spend your hours, what you allow into your mind, and how you react to the world around you. Are you contributing to the collective decay by giving into cheap distractions, lazy thinking, and emotional reactions? Or are you actively training your mind to be a sharp, powerful instrument capable of navigating complex realities and building something of lasting value? The choice belongs entirely to you every single day. Stop waiting for society to magically improve on its own. Stop expecting the institutions that profit from your distraction to suddenly teach you how to be wise. The cavalry is not coming. The responsibility to make this world smarter, safer, and nobler rests squarely on the shoulders of the individuals who have the courage to wake up, turn off the noise, and do the heavy intellectual lifting required to master themselves. Stand up today, Shut off the brainless chatter of the modern world, pick up a real book, challenge your body, sharpen your mind, and begin the work of elevating yourself and the world around you. The future does not belong to the distracted crowd. It belongs to the sovereign, intelligent minds who step out of the herd and lead the way forward.